Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I hope you're all doing well this fine Wednesday. If you're in the UK, I hope you're gearing up for the heat wave that's going to hit us tomorrow. It's warm outside. It's just about right for me, but apparently we're going to get a massive influx of temperature tomorrow for the next few days. So it's not something I enjoy, hot weather. It really isn't something I enjoy. Anyhow, we'll endeavour to carry on, as we always do. The audio, if the audio sounds a bit weird, that it's StreamYard. StreamYard is doing something strange. It's currently doing like updates and things and adding new features. And I think there's some glitches in it. So for whatever reason, it's not letting me connect my microphone. So you're currently hearing me from the laptop's microphone, which is fine. It's okay. But if I touch the desk or I touch the laptop, you'll hear it. It'll overreact. So I'm going to try and not irritate you by touching the laptop too much. And then we don't have any massive audio problems. It's not my microphone. Like StreamYard is seeing my microphone. It just won't let me connect to it. It's just bizarre, but we'll endeavour to carry on. All right. So thank you, first of all, to Kimberly for gifting 5 memberships before the live stream started. Thank you so much. We've got Laurie, we've got Betty, Little One, Petunia, and Chris. Welcome you all. If you've never been a member before, please do check out the members area. We've got a bunch of stuff in there. I'm due to do another members live at some point very soon. I've not done one for a while, so that's on my mind. So I'm going to do that hopefully sometime this week. However, my mother, inconveniently, is in the hospital. So I may have to spend time at the hospital this week. We don't know what's wrong with her. She collapsed yesterday and she was okay. The paramedics couldn't find anything wrong with her, so they let her stay at home. And then early this morning, she was unwell again. So my sister took her to the hospital and she's there and they're keeping her in for tests. So we don't know what's wrong with her yet, but there's something wrong. And hopefully they get to the bottom of it. Yeah, so depending on how she is, I'm not going to tell you any times or dates or anything like that for anything coming up on the channel, just in case I have to cancel it and rush to the hospital at short notice and whatever. So she'll be all right. She'll be all right. They'll find out what's wrong. She is 80. You know, and she does really well. I forget that she's 80 because she's so active. You know, she's probably fitter than I am. So, yeah, I just forget that she's old. Thank you so much for the $9.99. That's very, very kind of you, Cash. Thank you for the £9.99. Even in my currency, we'll be in the bushes. Okay, stay in the bushes, Cash, but thank you for the $9.99. Anyway, in this live stream, we're talking about Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Michelle's mom walks. Yeah. She doesn't. She drives everywhere. She's one of them who drives everywhere. But I'll let her off because she is 80. But yeah, we're talking about Lilly and Jack. And the reason why I'm doing this live stream, it comes from a comment. There was some comments yesterday on yesterday's video that I was being overly critical of Daniel. That, you know, I was calling Daniel a liar and perhaps we should be looking at Malaya. Well, I appreciate that yesterday's video was mainly focused on Daniel. However, I've been just as critical of Malaya in previous videos. But it's absolutely true that Daniel has lied. He could be totally innocent. Could be completely innocent. But he has lied. And we do have to acknowledge that. So the comment was this one. Just let me share my screen here. This was the comment. And I actually agree with most of what this person says. This is Jocelyn. Sorry, Michelle, but what has Daniel lied about? So that was it. I thought, right, today I'm going to really explain as well as I can why Daniel has lied. He absolutely has lied. So he's either, let's be clear, he's either lied, he's either lied originally with his original story, or he's lying now with his new story. Alternatively, he's not lying, but he's believing everything he's been told. So it could well be completely innocent, but he's believing everything he's been told. And obviously none of us knows, unless you're Daniel, none of us knows which one of those is the truth. But there's something that we need to get to the bottom of. And the only person who could explain it is Daniel. But the rest of this comment, I absolutely agree with. Daniel can't force his mother to speak. Absolutely. Absolutely. Or stop his cousin from speaking. I agree. Totally, I agree. Janie, Daniel's mother, has absolutely the right to decline interviews with either YouTubers or TikTokers or with any other member of the media. Now, Durwood, stroke Darren, has said that Janie is going to be doing an interview with CBC. So if that happens, then great, we'll hear from Janie. If not, then that's another thing that Durwood stroke Darren has said that isn't true. And in my opinion, at this moment in time, I'm just going to say they're all lying because I don't know. I don't know whether there's truth in there. I think there probably is some truth. You know, a good lie is 50% truth. You know, if you're going to tell a lie, keep it as close to the truth as possible, and then just twist it a little bit so that you're lying. I don't know. I don't know whether Darren is telling the truth. I don't know whether Daniel is telling the truth. I don't know whether Malaya's told the truth. All I can tell you is that there is something not right here. There's something not right. I've said that from the beginning of this case. There's something not right. That the original story that they came out with doesn't really make much sense. But then again, the story that Darren has come out with also doesn't make much sense. So you can only conclude that at least one of them has to be lying. And because Daniel's changed his story, there's a reason for that. And the most obvious reason is that he's lying. He either lied originally or he's lying now. Both things can't be true. Alternatively, as I said, he could be telling the truth, but just believing what he's been told. You know, like blind faith kind of thing. So we're going to go through it. We're going to go through Daniel's statements. I've got a bunch of Daniel's statements, and I've got a bunch of text messages that I've collected from various places. So some of the text messages I'm going to show, like some of text, some of Facebook Messenger posts. Some I've got from It's a Crime and Shame. Sonny from It's a Crime and Shame has been talking to Belinda. So she's been sharing text messages that Belinda's given her that are conversations between Belinda and Malaya. Because if we're going to say Daniel's lying, we've also got to consider the possibility that Malaya's also lying. So we've got to look at her as well. And I'm not being overly critical of Daniel and saying that Malaya is the innocent party here. I've no idea whether they're both lying, whether one of them's lying. We've got to look at everything. We've got to look at everything. And At this point, at this moment in time, I don't believe any of them. I'm just looking at what they say and trying to make sense of it. That's it. That's all. So if you think I was overly critical of Daniel in yesterday's video, that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion. But I have been just as critical of Malaya in previous videos. So just want to make that clear, that I'm not victimizing Daniel. If Daniel is an innocent party, I'm very willing to accept that that is possibly true. At this moment, though, I have no idea. All I can say is something is not right here. And we got to try and make sense of it. And, you know, us internet sleuths, you know, we don't forget these things. You can't tell one story one day and then something else another day and not expect a kickback from us internet sleuths, because we remember everything. We keep the receipts. And then the text messages I'm going to show from Daniel, I've basically harvested from what people have shared on other videos or Facebook groups, but they are definitely Daniel. So they're definitely Malaya and definitely Daniel in these text messages that I'm going to show. All right, so that's what we're going to do. And I'm going to say a couple of hellos first of all and just give a few more people a chance to come in, so I only have to talk through things once. Okay, so let's have a look. Yeah, Lily has got the most adorable smile. Like she just, when she smiles, she's just pure happiness. That's what you get from Lily. And Jack is, I think, a little more serious and probably maybe a spirited little man, you know, maybe has his own ideas and he's going to stick to it. That's the feeling I get from Jack. Hello, Jackie. Oh, yeah, don't forget to subscribe. Right, it's only very recently that I've been telling people to subscribe. It's something that you're meant to do as a YouTuber. Like every video, you're meant to tell people to subscribe and like and share and all of that stuff that helps the algorithm. And I'm a rubbish YouTuber. I've never done that until very recently, because I want to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And I hit 92,000 yesterday. I've only got 8,000 to go. I think I can do it. And I do know that nearly 50% of people who watch my videos never subscribe. The majority of people who watch my videos are returning viewers. I can tell all of this from the analytics. So there's people who come to my videos, watch my videos, but for whatever reason, haven't subscribed. And if everybody who watches my videos subscribed, I'd be closer to 200,000 subscribers. So please do. Please do. And thanks for the reminder, Jackie. That's what I've forgotten. Hello, Lindsay. We got Lacing Chains. We got Thunder Horse. We got Swan Lake. We got Mike. We got Oreo. Does that say Oreo? Oh, no, sorry. I still need new glasses. One of the 99. I read that as Oreo. Can you believe that? Hello, David. Maybe Jack and Lily ate some strong gummies or chocolate and overdose. Okay. You mean like cannabis gummies? I don't actually think you can overdose on cannabis, honestly. I'm not sure that you can actually overdose on cannabis. I mean, you probably can, but I think you have to eat quite a lot of it. I mean a lot of it. I think you'd just be sick. I don't think you're going to die from a cannabis overdose. Now, other drugs, maybe yes, possibly. I don't know. Hello, Rob. We got Ive. We got Black Country. We got Karen. Who else have we got? Blue Willow, Mystic, Jane, Kitty Witty, Ali, Monica, Heather Feather, Dawn, Rocket Queen, Danny. All right, that's enough. That's enough. I'm going to stop now before people get bored and sick of me. Okay. All right. Let's start us off here with this. So this is a video that I did a month ago, and this was a video that I put together It's called, for anybody who wants to go and listen to it after, Lilly and Jack Sullivan's Parents on Their Disappearance, The Inconsistencies in Their Own Words. And this was basically everything that Malaya and Daniel had said in the first like 10 days or so of the case. This was when Daniel was talking to the news nearly every day. So we're not going to play the whole video, just going to play some clips from it. So I started off with Malaya's interview on the 5th of May. No, 3rd of May. This was like literally hours before Malaya did one. And the thing that I've been most critical of with Malaya is the fact that she left. Like, who does that? You know, kids go missing and then 24 hours later, you leave the area. And I'm sorry, you know, if she's been kicked off Daniel's property, okay. But I don't like it. I don't like the fact that there was this massive bust up within 24 hours of Lilly and Jack going missing. And now Malaya completely refuses to talk to Daniel. Whereas literally days before, she was on Facebook saying that she couldn't live without him. And she just changed on a dime. And that makes me think either she's guilty of something and she can't face staying there, or she thinks Daniel did something and can't face staying there. Because if she'd been kicked off the property and, you know, she didn't want to go, well, we know that's not true. We know it was her family who told her to leave. So there's something bizarre about that. I mean, what parent completely leaves the area 24 hours after their kids have disappeared? Like, I've never seen that before, ever in a case. I've never seen it before, that a parent of a missing child leaves and doesn't come back. I mean, all right, you can't spend your entire life at home waiting for your kids to come home. You can't do that, right? You know, life goes on. You've got to continue to function. You might have to continue to go to work. You can't just stay waiting for your kid to walk through the door. I understand that. But within 24 hours of your kids going missing, you completely leave the area and you don't go back, and you refuse to talk to the person that you confess to being the love of your life. I don't get it. I'm sorry, I don't understand that. There's something incredibly wrong about that. Obviously, the stuff that went on that we don't know about, I get that. I get that. But what I'm really struggling with, I'm just plugging in my other computer before it disappears. Just a sec. Oh, dear God. All right, just a sec. There we are. All right, it's charging now. I turned the plug off at the socket. I couldn't understand why it wasn't charging. Okay. All right. I don't get it. So that's my major concern with Malaya. But it absolutely involves Daniel as well. Like, there's a reason why she left and blames Daniel. Can hear the struggle. I only had to stand up and lean over, but as the audio's coming from the laptop, it probably sounded a bit weird because I had to like lean over the laptop to plug the thing in. All right, so we're going to start with Malaya and what she said on the 3rd of May, and this is about what happened when they realised that Jack and Lilly were missing.
and they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet, and we get up, and I tell him, my partner Daniel, I tell him, "Do you hear the kids?" And he says, "No." And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so...
Okay, so that was the story that they both went with originally. That they were in bed with the baby Meadow. And Daniel added a little bit to Malaya's story and said that he actually saw Lily, like, coming in and out of the bedroom. We remember all this. You remember this? You've been following the case from the beginning. You remember all this. That he saw Lily coming in and out of the bedroom. He didn't see Jack, but he heard him. So the kids were playing, and then it all went quiet. And there's 20 minutes in there somewhere. 20 minutes keeps being mentioned. So was it 20 minutes? Was it 20 minutes that they didn't hear them? Or what? So that's what she said. However, we've got some text messages. We've got some text messages between Malaya and Belinda. Now, these were shared by Sonny on It's a Crime and Shame. So that's where I've got these from. They're a little bit blurry because they're screenshots, and I've like blown them up a little bit. But I'm going to read the relevant bits out. Courtney, member for 46 months. That's nearly 4 years. That's crazy. Thank you so much. It is a very odd case. A very odd case. So these might not be in. I think I've got them in order. But this is what Malaya told Belinda. Belinda, of course, is Lily and Jack's biological grandmother on the paternal side. Belinda has done her own interview with CBC, and she's been on It's a Crime and Shame a couple of times and kind of told her side of the story. She's Cody's mother, Cody being Lily and Jack's biological dad. Cody's another person that we haven't heard anything from at all. Like, he doesn't have anything to do with the kids. So this is from May the 2nd. So this is the very day that they disappeared. And Belinda shared these messages with Sonny. So that's how Sonny got hold of them, from It's a Crime and Shame. So literally hours. So here we see 1:46 p.m. And Lily and Jack were reported missing at 10 a.m. or thereabouts. So these messages come less than 4 hours after Lily and Jack were reported missing. Where is Lily and Jack's bio dad? He lives with Belinda. So he lives at home with Belinda. All right, so the blue is Belinda and the grey is Malaya. Have you heard anything yet? Were they going to school? Please keep me updated. No, I was keeping them home today because they were sick with a cold. So originally we were told that they weren't at school the Thursday and Friday because Lily had a cough. So she obviously kept both of them off. Maybe she thought that Jack was sick as well. We know that there was no school on the Wednesday. So the last time Lily and Jack were actually in school was Tuesday. So they were off on Thursday and Friday. But they couldn't have been really sick because on May the 1st, the Thursday, cops have verified proof of life that they were all seen on a surveillance camera in town, in the town of New Glasgow, which is a nearby town. I don't know what they were doing some shopping and whatever, but everyone was there. So Malaya, Daniel, Baby Meadow, and Lily and Jack. So the RCMP have said that they have proof of life of Lily and Jack on the Thursday afternoon. So they couldn't have been that sick. You know, for whatever reason, they were able to go to New Glasgow, but weren't able to go to school. Now, I do know that some, like the schools around here, if your kid's been sick, you're not allowed into school for like, I don't know whether it's 24 or 48 hours. I can't remember. It's a long time since I had a kid at, you know, Lilly and Jack's age. But when Kyle was little, I'm sure it was 48 hours. So if you'd been sick because you'd eaten too much chocolate, you would be better straight away, but you weren't allowed in school just in case you were infectious. So even if you knew the reason why they'd been sick, they still technically weren't allowed back in school. So it could be something like that, that the school has a rule, you know, if you've got a cold, you're not allowed in for 24 or 48 hours or whatever. I don't know. But they were seen in New Glasgow. And then something like they like exploring the woods and playing in the woods under our supervision. I can't believe this is actually happening right now. I never thought they would run off on me like that. I'm so distraught. Belinda says, you must be worried. Worried sick. Let me know. I will. Yes, I don't know what to do. Are your neighbours close at all? No, not too close. We live on Gaylord Road. Can't read that. I hear they are bringing in other teams. I hope so. They've been missing since 9:40. So she actually says here on this 2nd of May that they've been missing since 9:40. That time changed. That time completely changed. And if they'd been missing since 9:40, was that the time that they realized they were missing? Like, I still don't know, 2 months down the line, and I'm a timelines person, and if the timeline doesn't make sense, I've got a problem. And this timeline has not made sense from the very, very beginning. It hasn't made sense since the beginning. So I want to know where this 20 minutes fits in, because if Malaya is saying that they've been missing since 9:40, was it 20 minutes before that they last heard them? So 9:20. So 9:20, kids are playing, then it all goes quiet. 20 minutes later, they realize they haven't heard the kids for 20 minutes and they get up to look. So is 9:40 the time that they realized that they weren't in the house? Because it would only have been like 10, 15 minutes later that Malaya called 911. Because she called 911 just before 10. I don't know to the exact minute, but I know it was around just before 10. And then she says they like to wander a lot. So we were told that the kids never go outside without Daniel or Malaya. But then we're told, and this is May the 2nd, this is 4 hours after Lilly and Jack were reported missing, Malaya says they like to wander a lot. But we were absolutely told by Daniel and Malaya that they don't go outside without supervision. So you can't have it both ways. You can't have the children never go outside without an adult being with them and then say they wander a lot. That both things can't be true. Both things cannot be true. Okay. Do they go out to the road? Normally, no, but if they were in the front yard and someone stopped and convinced them to come over, they would go. They don't understand stranger danger. So that's what they've been telling the police. But then she says Jack has trouble going through the woods, and normally they don't go out of the yard. So normally they don't go out of the yard, but then in the very same day, in the very same conversation, she'd said that they like to wander a lot. So do they wander out to the yard? Okay, I personally wouldn't consider that wandering because the yard is fenced in. Now, the fence does have holes in it, but if they just go out in the yard, I wouldn't consider that wandering. I'd consider it wandering if they'd gone further than where they were allowed to go. So if they're allowed to go in the yard, and then you look out and they're not there, and they're in the woods, yes, I would consider that wandering. But if she says they like to wander a lot, obviously it means that they've gone out before and they've had to go and look for them. Both things can't be true. I'm sorry. And this is Malaya. So, yes, I am just as critical of Malaya and the stories she's told as I am of Daniel. In my opinion, they're both lying. That's just my opinion, though. Okay, is there anything else in this conversation that we need to be concerned of? So we have a big search team right now and more coming. They also want info about Cody because he doesn't see them. Well, that's from the police. And we know that Cody was interviewed several times with drone dogs and helicopters. Okay. I think this is a little bit later. So this is now 3:59. So this is now 6 hours after they were reported missing. And Belinda says, did they have coats on? Is there any news? Not yet. They have boots on, and Lily has her white backpack on with strawberries, and she should be in pink, and Jack in dark coloured clothes. Jack has dino boots, Lily has pink boots. So that is the description that we've been told. Didn't put their coats on. And then Belinda, this is about Belinda going searching. So Belinda went, she says 3 times. So May the 3rd, she went there searching. And then I think 2 other times. I don't know whether it would have been the Sunday and the Monday. But Belinda did say that she actually went through like the woods and nearby the house. Okay. These are out of order. I've already read those. And then must be something about dogs. I don't have this full conversation. So the only bloodhound in Nova Scotia is out looking for them, and they have a better chance of finding them because they track their scent. Yeah, that's true. And we do know that they found a scent on the driveway, but they didn't find a scent anywhere else, which I find astonishing. I find it even more astonishing that they've never brought in cadaver dogs. But I'm not going to talk about dogs and search dogs in this video because it'll take me completely off track. And I've talked about search dogs so many times, and I'm sure I will again in the future. What I'm talking about in this live stream, I'm trying to stay focused, is on the lies and the inconsistencies. And then she says, and again, this is still May the 2nd, I have reason to believe they may have been taken by someone. So you have reason to believe that they may have been taken by someone. So on May the 2nd, Malaya is already putting out in people, to people, that somebody's taken them. Now, obviously, she may be thinking that. She may be thinking, well, they wouldn't wander away. They must have been abducted. But the wordings there is interesting. I have reason to believe they may have been taken by someone. Well, what is that reason? What is that reason? And it says you should have been found by now if they wandered off, if they were in the woods. So Belinda says, I'm thinking the same thing. That's why I think they should have issued an Amber Alert. And then she said, yes, I want an Amber Alert. And we know that Malaya did ask for an Amber Alert and they weren't allowed one. Did the bloodhound find anything? No, not a thing. Are they still searching? Yes. But no helicopter drones or dogs till the morning. So that's the end of that conversation. But Belinda did go on the 3rd to search. So again, these were shared by Sunny from It's a Crime and Shame, and she got the messages from Belinda. Belinda shared the messages with her that she'd had with Malaya on May the 2nd. So we've got Malaya's own words from the very day that they disappeared. And she says she's reason to believe that they've been taken by someone, but they wander a lot, and the dog didn't find anything. Okay. Why did Malaya stop talking to Belinda? Well, Malaya just went completely silent. After her family took her away, she hasn't spoken to anyone. She's not done any more media. She's just gone completely silent, which of course she has a right to do, but it's incredibly unusual. Really, really strange. So soon after they went missing. Really strange. Okay, so let's go back now and let's talk about Daniel's conversation. All right, so there's a bunch of news media, and Daniel was just talking and talking and talking. Everybody who was there, CBC, CTV, those were the two main ones who he was interviewed with. Global News as well. So I put a bunch of these early. Again, these are mainly in the first week. I put all of these together in one video. So if anybody wants to go and just watch it all through, I tried to do it in chronological order. Lilly and Jack Sullivan's parents on the disappearance, the inconsistencies in their own words. That's the video that I did.
The last few days have been very stressful. I mean, ever since the Friday morning, when we noticed that the children were gone, immediately jumped in the vehicle, surveyed all the areas, many dirt roads, many culverts as I could, and waited for the police to get there.
Okay, so that's what he said. He said he went all over looking everywhere, in culverts, in the river. He went everywhere. That's what he said. Okay, cool. He said that numerous times. Let's find another clip.
Everywhere possible. Even in the first day we did. Even with me running through the woods, I was ahead of the helicopters and ahead of the drones and stuff like that. Screaming as loud as I can. Just until my throat hurt. Running through water that was up to my waist. And as soon as I got back, I wasn't allowed back in the woods until a man dressed in a military outfit said I could go back into the woods.
He estimates it took up to 20 minutes to know. All right. And this is me reading a little bit from the news piece. So he estimates it took up to 20 minutes to notice the two children were gone. Now, Malaya told Belinda that they noticed they were missing at 9:40. So again, when does this 20 minutes begin? Like, did they last hear them at 9:20? And that's where the 20 minutes is. I need to know this because we were told a different time. We've heard 8:45 being mentioned. Since Darren came out talking, the time has changed to 8:45. So I don't know. Noticed that the children were gone. So I told them to quieten down. And then Lilly, she went out of the room and I could hear Jack out in the kitchen. A few minutes went by. I heard nothing. Got up, went out into the kitchen, checked everything. I'd seen they weren't there. Checked their bedrooms and they weren't there. So I looked out in the backyard. That's the only other place they would go. And their boots were gone. The sliding door was closed. Usually they don't close the door. I usually have to remind them to close the door over and over. Now, that sentence, I've picked that apart because that is very telling to me. Now, some people don't agree. Some people say, well, yeah, but my kids go out and then they go back in and then they go back out and they don't close the door. And it's not because they're going out on their own. And that's fine. I understand that. But given the context, of Malaya saying that they wander a lot. And then we have Daniel saying, well, they go out and they never close the door. I tell them over and over to close the door. So they do go out. They do go out on their own. Now, if they're only going out in the yard, that's fine. I wouldn't have a problem with my kid going playing in the yard at age 6. I wouldn't have a problem with that at all if I knew that the yard was secure. The issue is that there's holes in that fence. I'd have that fence mended, because I wouldn't let my kids go out in a yard that's right next to dense woods if I knew they could get out through the fence. So if the fence was secure, I really wouldn't have a problem with it. And I'd allow my kids to do that if the yard was secure. But you can't have it both ways, as I keep saying. You can't say that the kids never go out without supervision, but then say they wander a lot, and then say they go out and they don't close the door. But this time the door was closed. Like, he's kind of said that's unusual. Thank you. I got a super chat. Hold on. Let me grab it here. Let me grab this super chat here. Thank you so much. We got Sarah here. Sarah with an H, $4.99. All these interviews and convos no one has gotten to answer 3 simple questions. When did you last see them, realize they were missing, and notify law enforcement? Exactly. We've been told different times. This is the problem. Now, notifying Ellie, we do know that the call came in around 10. So we do know the answer to that question. But what time did you last see them, and when did you realize they were missing? Unfortunately, we've never got an answer to that. But thank you for the $4.99. Thank you so much.
I know they took their boots. That's pink boots for Lily, blue boots for Jack, with dinosaurs on them. Lily had her backpack with white, and it was white with strawberries on it. I imagine now if they're in the woods, that'd be probably brown, but I don't see them carrying their backpack. I don't see them keeping a pull-up on for that long after it got soaked from the very first day. We only found the 2 boot tracks outside of the house.
Whereabouts?
Right beside the house, probably 10 feet away from the backyard.
In the backyard, okay.
Nothing new, other than the helicopters are still in the air, and they had dogs. They took around the dogs today, and as of last night, they had 8 more drones going up with infrared. I urge the public to come out if you have anything, come out as fast as possible and get it to any detachment or any police service that you have available to get to talk to. And Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends, not just brother and sister.
We've heard a lot about.
Okay, so he was very clear there. He gave a lot of detail. A lot of detail. And he's very clear that they went out. They know what boots they were wearing. They know Lily took her backpack. And then they found boot prints in the yard. We do know that a dog tracked down the driveway. But then we've also got boot prints near the gas pipe, and a blanket that was found in a tree. And here comes another lie, because on May the 6th, and I don't think I have the news piece in this one. I don't think I do. But anyway, I do know that on May the 6th, Daniel told the news that the blanket that was found by Malaya's family, I hasten to add, wasn't found by searchers. It was found by Malaya's family. This blanket was found on Lansdowne Road near the, I'll just get the map up here, near the gas pipe. Okay. So here's where they live. This is Garlot Road. This is Lansdowne Road. And this is where the gas pipe intersects here. And there was children's boot prints and the blanket in a tree in this vicinity. So Lansdowne Road, where the gas pipe intersects, around this area, right? Found by Malaya's family. But Daniel told the news that that wasn't Lily's blanket, but then changed his mind and said it was Lily's blanket. And Malaya had said it was Lily's blanket. And this blanket was a torn blanket that they put in the garbage. And somehow part of this blanket has found its way out of the garbage and gone a mile down the road. I don't know whether it's not a mile if you go in a straight line, but I think it's about a mile if you go via the road. So this piece of blanket has managed to travel a mile on its own and tangle itself in a tree. Could they have gotten to the river? Now, there are water courses. If you change it to this, there are water courses, but they have checked them all. That's Lansdowne Lake there. There is I don't know whether it's a river. Let's have a look. Oh yeah, the Middle River. So could they have gotten to the river? Yeah, they could. It's close to the river. I don't know where it actually goes. Like, does it just end, or does it go underground and pick up somewhere else? But Daniel said that he went into the river up to his waist and looked at all the culverts. I'm assuming this river goes underground at this point. I'm guessing, because it just disappears off the map. So where does it go? What does it join to? Does it begin there? Is that where it begins? I've no idea. But yeah, there is water close by, but they've dove Lansdowne Lake, and I assume that they've checked this river, but obviously rivers are moving water. But yeah, they could have got in the river. They could have done, but it's in the opposite direction to where the boot print was found. Because if you go back to satellite view, the river's here. You can't really see it on this. That's why you can only just make it out there. But it's a completely different direction to where the blanket was found. Blanket's found down here, along here. What's that road called? I don't know what that road's called. I think that's just a track rather than a road. But this is Lansdowne Road here. So you've got Gairloch Road, Lansdowne Road, and Lansdowne Station Road. Those are like the main roads. That's Lansdowne Station Road there, over the road. But we were also told that they never go over, the children never go across the road. They never go across the road. That's something else we were told. But Daniel was very clear. Very clear. The river begins where to the west? Okay. Does it go underground at some point? Like the creek near me, it goes underground and then it pops up in another part of the village. Like after it leaves where I am, it goes underground. So let's listen to Daniel again here.
To say about Jack and Lilly.
Lilly Jack are awesome kids, very, very kind. They'll talk to anyone. They want to go with anyone. They're just looking to have as much fun as they can. Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. But Lilly loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends, not just brother and sister.
He says he's also hoping police monitor the New Brunswick border and the airports for any sign of the two children. But RCMP tell us this afternoon they're not considering any possible abduction here. As far as they're concerned, they're looking for two young children who simply wandered away.
I know.
Yeah. And it's interesting that Daniel told RCMP and told the news early on that they should be checking the border, the New Brunswick border. It's interesting then that Darren came out and said that Malaya, when she dropped Lilly and Jack off at the end of the driveway and they got in a car, they went to New Brunswick. So New Brunswick was mentioned by Daniel when he said they should be checking the New Brunswick border. And then it comes out from Darren, supposedly, that his sources told him that the kids had been taken to New Brunswick. I did a whole video about it. About, like Darren saying that the kids were in New Brunswick. Make it make sense. Yeah, according to Malaya's half-sister, Daniel has been on meth for 2.5 years. Yeah, I did a video about that a couple of days ago. Yeah, that's supposedly why Malaya was taken away by her family. That Malaya admitted that Daniel had been on drugs for 2.5 years and her family got her away from the situation. It was said the blanket was put there after cops searched the area. Yes, that absolutely has been said. Absolutely has been said. That the cops had already walked down Lansdowne Road and then, hey presto, the family walked down there. It reminds me of Brian Laundrie. Do you remember any of you followed the Brian Laundrie fiasco? The cops were there for over a month searching, and then the first time the parents were allowed there, they find his remains within like half an hour. Okay. All right then. So the cops walk down Lansdowne Road. They don't see a pink blanket like in a tree. And then the family walk down and, oh, look, there's the blanket. Oh, come on. There's something not right. I'm not blaming anyone in particular. I'm saying there's something not right about any of this. My spidey senses have been tinging and twinging and twanging right from the beginning of this case. There's something wrong here.
The difficulty moving around if you sort of leave that trail, how difficult they find it to believe that they could have gone anywhere deeper than that into the woods.
No idea. I had no idea. I'm still searching every day. I'm waiting for information. I have to let them do a lot of their stuff with the aircrafts and everything else, and dogs and searchers. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be coordinated, and I can't just go run into the woods. I want to, but I just can't right now because the search is just so far out.
Their stepfather, Daniel Martel, spends every evening conducting his own search.
As soon as I seen they were missing, I jumped right in the vehicle and I did every dirt road and searched every culvert.
The children are thought to have wandered away from their home in Lansdowne Station on Friday morning. Martel believes they were only gone for about 20 minutes before he and their mother noticed they were missing.
See, so there's the 20 minutes again. So they were gone for 20 minutes before they realized they were missing. Well, how do you know how long they've been gone? I don't understand. So you say they've been gone 20 minutes, well, but you didn't know what time they left. So how can you say they've been gone 20 minutes? Like, when does that 20 minutes begin? Does the 20 minutes begin from the last time they heard them? So if Malaya's time, when she told Belinda 9:40, so was the time that they were last heard or last seen, because Daniel said he saw Lilly, was the time he last saw her 9:20? So there's your 20 minutes, 9:20 to 9:40. Or else, unless you have like, well, I last saw her or I last heard them at this time and you have a definite time, then you can say, yes, they've been gone up to 20 minutes because I last saw them or last heard them at this time. So the maximum that they could have gone is 20 minutes. And then you realize that you've not heard them for that time and then you're out looking. But I don't like the fact that we don't understand this timeline. I say that 2 months down the line, and then way down in Tennessee there, you have a 4-year-old case, Little Summer Wells, and 4 years down the line, I still don't understand the timeline. So, you know, Lilly and Jack's case has got a way to go. But I can't stand it when the timeline doesn't make sense. You automatically know something is wrong if you can't put it together, a timeline, even a rough one. You know, I roughly heard them at this time. I roughly heard them at this time. But that's fine because you don't know they're going to go missing. So it's not like you're clock watching. But you have you have a fairly accurate knowledge of when you last saw or heard your kid. But then that time can't change. You can't completely change it days down the line. If what you're saying is true, that time won't change. Thank you, Christina, for being a member for 33 months. And I had a new member earlier, just a minute. I saw it go by and then I forgot to acknowledge it. Thank you so much, Cash, for becoming a new member. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind of you. Welcome to the Secret Agents Club. And thank you, Christina, for the $9.99 super sticker. Thank you. Thank you. Very kind. Okay. Well, I think we've got Daniel again coming up.
The very first day I wasn't around very much because I was just searching. I was running through the woods, screaming their name till my throat hurt.
Martel says the only concrete clue so far is a boot print found near the backyard of the property. RCMP haven't shared any additional evidence.
The officers and searchers on site are following.
All right, so the boot print on the driveway is completely different than the boot print that was found near the gas pipe, which was found near where the blanket was found. That's completely different. Summertime, thank you for the $4.99. Besides the parents who last saw the kids alive, when and where? Well, we know that they were in school on the Tuesday. So Mr. Ward, the bus driver, came out and did an interview like early on in the case and said that Lilly and Jack were last on the bus on Tuesday. Now, I'm sure that the police have gone to the school and verified that Lilly and Jack were actually in school on Tuesday. Wednesday, school was out. Thursday, they were seen on surveillance. The whole family was seen on surveillance, including Lilly and Jack, in the town of New Glasgow. So the last proof of life we have, and the cops have confirmed this, is Thursday afternoon. Now, I don't think anyone other than family members saw them after that time. But we do know that there was proof of life verified by the cops Thursday afternoon. So that would have been the afternoon of May the 1st. But thank you for the $4.99. It's very kind. Okay. Oops. All right. I think there's one more piece with Daniel. Yeah, there is. Coming up here.
Hundreds of people have been searching for 5 days now. Martel is worried the children have been abducted.
Hardly any evidence at all since the first day. It's mind-boggling that nothing else was found.
The RCMP would not confirm if Major Crime is investigating.
There's a variety of teams who are.
And remember, at this point, Daniel was saying that the blanket wasn't Lily's. And then that changed when Malaya said that the blanket was Lily's. Now, maybe Daniel just didn't recognize it. Maybe he was telling the truth that it didn't look like Lily's blanket. He didn't recognize it. Well, maybe that's true. Maybe both of them are true, that Daniel didn't think it was Lily's, but Malaya did think it was Lily's. But it's just interesting that it was found after a police search by Malaya's friends and family. I find that quite suspicious. I find it strange. Thank you, Aussie Trisha, for the $7.99 Australian dollars. Please hit the like button. Please do. It helps with the algorithm. It's not about my ego. It's about helping with the algorithm. So if you click the like, it helps it just push out to everybody else. But thank you so much for the $7.99. It's very kind of you. Let's see if we've got any more Daniel here. You got me reading stuff. Let's just have a look at this. It's a while since I watched this. All right, I'll just read this out to you. I'm fighting to stay awake at this point. This is Daniel talking to the news. I'm just so drained, but the fight goes on. Fight will always go on. Martel said the last time he saw RCMP in the area was Friday near Lansdowne Lake. So if you remember, on May the 7th, they called off the search, like the big search, and they said that they were going to be doing targeted searches. So that Friday, so this would have been a week in, because Lilly and Jack went missing on Friday. The following Friday, the cops were there, but they were searching waterways. So they searched Lansdowne Lake and they searched like the river area. And Daniel saw them at Lansdowne Lake. I talked to the last of RCMP in the area that I've seen. They were at Lansdowne Lake and they told me they'd scoured the lake with divers and used sonar technology in the lake, and there's no evidence at all. I don't know what to think. If they were in the area, they would have found them. My family is still searching. We're never going to give up hope. We're going to continue to look and probably continue to look for the rest of my life, which is touching. If Daniel is a completely innocent person here, that's a very touching statement to make. But we don't know who's telling the truth. We don't know anything. Oh, we got another Daniel here.
He was interviewed by investigators this week.
They asked me everything. I gave them all of the information. I gave them my phone. I asked for lie detector tests. I've done everything. I asked for drug tests. I've done everything.
After thousands of hours looking for Jack and Lilly.
All right, so we know that Daniel did take a polygraph. We know that Malaya took a polygraph. Daniel said he passed. We don't know whether Malaya passed. I don't hold much stock in polygraphs anyway, but Daniel asked for it, so they did it. He asked for a drug test. Don't know whether a drug test was ever done. Don't know. Don't know the answer to that. Okay, now let's bring us a little bit closer in time. And Daniel has been talking to people. Now, he did a sit-down interview with CBC quite recently, actually, and reiterated some of what he told us, well, told the news earlier in the case. But he did say in that interview, very interestingly, that there's more to the case than we know. So it made it sound very intriguing that there's more to the case than what we know. So the rest of these that I'm going to share from Daniel, I've just kind of collected them and put them all together in one document. I think these ones are him talking to Charmaine, who is a co-presenter sometimes on It's a Crime and Shame. I think these are from Charmaine. I think, but don't quote me on it. But I think these are from her. Chris, thank you so much for the $1.99. Hope Mum's okay, Michelle. Love hearing from you from Newcastle. Thank you, Chris. I'm sure she'll be okay. I'm sure she will. I'm sure she will. All right, so this is what Daniel says. And this is closer in time, right? We're moving closer in time now, when Daniel's story starts to change. So we heard a lot from Daniel in that first week to 10 days, and then the story has gradually changed over time. And Daniel's story appears to have changed to be more in line with what Darren has been saying. Now, if you've been following the case closely, you'll know that Darren, who called himself Durwood at the beginning, but his actual name is Darren, he is Malaya's grandma's cousin, which makes him Malaya's first cousin twice removed. So he's a member, an extended family member from Malaya. But he's taken Daniel's side. And his major source is Janie, Daniel's mother. Now, we've not heard from Janie. She's got a right to silence, absolutely. She doesn't have to come and talk to us. She doesn't have to talk to the news. All right, before anybody jumps down my throat. She doesn't have to. It would be interesting to hear from her because she has been talking like behind the scenes. Like she sits in the shadow, she sits in the bushes and tells it all to Darren. And then Darren comes out and tells us. So Janie might as well just come out and tell the story from her side. She might as well, because the story from her side is coming out, but it's coming out secondhand. It's hearsay. So I wish Janie would come out and actually speak. And, you know, we hear it from her own word, you know, from her own words, what she claims to have saw. Because what Janie told Darren is completely different than the story that Malaya and Daniel have told the media. Completely different. And that is that Janie saw Malaya early in the morning on May the 2nd, like really early in the morning, on the driveway. The kids weren't with her, so she was nearly caught. And I've made tons of videos about this. That Lilly and Jack had already gone, but Malaya had put them in a car, like one of her friends had come along and picked them up. And the story is that Malaya wanted to leave, but she was doing it by stealth. She didn't want to cause a scene. She didn't want Daniel to be upset. So she packed Lilly and Jack off with one of her friends, and then she was going to follow along later. This is a story that Malaya then came out with, or at least what Janie says Malaya came out with. Let's be very clear that we've not heard this from Malaya's own words. This is all via Darren, via Janie. So Janie's story is completely different than the one that Malaya and Daniel told originally. Janie is Daniel's mother. So now Daniel changes his story, completely changes his story. From all of those interviews that he did with the media early on, his story now has done a complete 180. And it's all about Malaya. So this is what these text messages are about. I only wish I could tell you fine details surrounding Malaya and her family and the disappearance. I'll let you know that Malaya was set to stay with me and the baby leave with my cousin. So on May the 3rd, Baby Meadow was due to go and stay with Logan, Daniel's cousin, while the search was going on. But Malaya was intending to stay with Daniel so that she could help with the search. However, 5 minutes alone with her mother after the first search briefing, Malaya completely changed. She couldn't even look at me. An hour before this, Malaya told RCMP she felt happiest and safest with me. Lilly and Jack called me dad and came to me for everything. Never Malaya. She had no control over the kids. They were wild with her, and with me, they listened and were well behaved. I promised myself I'd always be there for Malaya and the kids, and I'm holding that promise. I'm not being negative towards Malaya. I love her, but I never lie because that's not just me. I say the truth, even if it hurts. I'm sorry to say that, but I live in reality, and reality is what it is. So Daniel is claiming to be telling the truth, that he's told the truth all along. Well, okay, that's fine. It's possible that Daniel has been telling the truth all along because he's just believed what Malaya said And he's believed then what Janie said and what Darren has been saying, that he just blindly believes. That could be true. But here's the problem for Daniel, that it was Daniel who said that he saw Lily 20 minutes before she disappeared. So if he said he saw Lily, but the actual truth is that Malaya took Lily and Jack early in the morning down the driveway and put them in a car, and a friend drove them away, well, Daniel seeing Lily coming in and out of the bedroom can't be true, can it? So in answer to this comment, which has sparked this entire live stream, what has Daniel lied about? Well, take your pick. Take your pick. Because if he's now saying that Janie's story is the truth and that Malaya's family arranged for Jack and Lily to be disappeared, then he can't have seen Lily on that morning at like 9 something. 20 minutes before they realized that they were missing. That can't be true. That can't be true. Unless all of that happened way earlier than what Daniel has previously said. Again, I don't understand this timeline. And at this time, 2 months down the line, we should have a clear timeline. Okay, now these are different. Now, I've not actually got to the bottom of where these have come from, because they look like YouTube chats. I don't exactly know where these come from. Maybe no, they don't. They're not YouTube. These ones further down here are YouTube. These ones look like maybe Facebook Messenger. Yeah, they're Facebook Messenger chats. Again, I don't know. They've just been shared. I don't know whether these are still Charmaine's or whether these have been shared elsewhere. As I said, I've just been collecting these. All right. Okay. This is Daniel about Malaya. And again, these are more recent. And these are Daniel now saying that Malaya is involved in the children's disappearance. She will go as long as she can, but will crack after her mental health is put to the test with exams. I'm saying too much. I believe they're alive. So he believes that Jack and Lily are alive. And Malaya knows who drove them off the property. So who took them and drove them off the property? That's completely 180 degrees different than what he told the news in a whole bunch of interviews. So he's either lying then or he's lying now. Or he has no idea and he's just believing people. He doesn't know what to think and he's believing everybody. But it's a completely, totally different story. That what Daniel is saying to people in Facebook Messenger chats and what he started to say in YouTube chats. He is now saying the story that Darren has been saying. So he's either lying then or he's lying now. Because if this is true, if Daniel and Darren are telling the truth, Daniel lied in the beginning saying that he saw Lily at something past 9, 20 minutes before they realized they were missing. Malaya will crack soon. Not one person in her family speaks to bring the kids home. No one knew it started after Meadow was born. So obviously these are just Daniel's conversations. There would have been questions in this. So this is about Malaya's mental health, that Malaya's mental health went downhill after Meadow was born. So presumably postpartum depression, which a lot of women have. And if you don't get help for it, it can spiral downwards. You can end up in a period of psychosis. It can get really, really serious. Postpartum depression is not to be messed with as a medical condition. It needs to be carefully monitored, and you need to be looked after, right, when you've got postpartum depression, because it can, in relatively rare occasions, spiral downwards right the way into psychosis, and we don't want that. Where exactly on map was Blanky? It was here. Now, I don't know to the actual, the actual inch, but in this vicinity. So you've got Lansdowne Road, and then you've got the gas pipe, which intersects. So it was in this vicinity, like around Lansdowne Road area, in the vicinity of the gas pipe. So it has to be around here. I don't know the exact point, but in this location. Also, where are these famous just filled in potholes in the driveway? I don't know the answer to that. But apparently, the day before they disappeared, Janie was filling in potholes in the driveway. Now, the driveway does look quite rough, and I would imagine that there is potholes in it. And I would imagine that if I was living there, I'd be filling in potholes. It would be something that I would try to do and probably do badly. But yeah, I'd like to see them. I'd like to see pictures of those potholes that have been filled in. That would be interesting to know. Okay. She also said the kids are in the woods. Stupid me believed that, and I searched and searched. So admitting that he believed what Malaya said about the kids being in the woods. They can't, and the kids would be moved to a different location. So again, following Darren's story, that the kids were taken away and that Malaya's family know exactly where they are. There's more. Yeah, she wanted birth certificates, school pics, and one stuffed animal for Lily and Jack. She went on and on about trauma for the first year over and over. I had to say to her, stop it. It's not her hiding them. So presumably it's not Malaya that's hiding them, but Malaya knows who took them. Like, according to Darren's version of events, Malaya handed them off. So clearly she knew who she handed them off to. And I would imagine that she knows where they are. If she knows who took them, then presumably she knows where they are. But how was this? How was this arranged? Like if she got a friend to pick them up, how was it arranged? Because if she did it over the phone or she did it over Facebook Messenger, well, the cops got her phone. The cops will have had access to her messages. The cops will have cloned her phone. So how come they've never found any evidence of communication? Or was she using a burner phone? She could have been using a burner phone, absolutely could have been, which makes it way more, planned. If you've gone to the point of getting a burner phone and making this arrangement via burner phones, then you've clearly had it planned for a while. It's not something that you've done on the spur of the moment because you're completely desperate. Unless, of course, you might have a burner phone hanging around. I mean, I'm at the moment, what's my last count of number of phones I've got that actually work, that I could actually send messages from? I've got my iPhone 6, my iPhone XR, my iPhone 12, I've recently got a new phone. So I've got 3 phones that have SIM cards in that I could put money on. You know, I could go to the shop and get a, you know, one of the pay as you go, whatever. So I've got 3 phones. Then I've got my new phone. Then I've got an actual real burner phone that I use, an old Nokia phone that I bought to play Snake on because I like the game Snake. So I've actually got 5 phones, 5 working phones. So if I wanted to arrange to have someone delivered somewhere, I could easily do it. I may have another phone. I do. I have another phone. I have another phone. I have a flip phone as well. I've not seen that for a while, but I know it's in the house. So I could do it. But, you know, maybe she's done it on an old phone that she's not showing the cops. I don't know. I don't know. I have 4 working phones. Well, I've got 5. iPhone 6, iPhone XR, iPhone 12, iPhone 16, Nokia, and then I have a flip phone. I know I've got it. I don't know where it is though. So 5 definitely, potentially 6. No, 6 definitely. Hold on. Yeah, 5 definitely, potentially 6. Okay. But then he says, I can't go on to the reserve she belongs to. It's dangerous for me. She doesn't have the mental foresight to understand the complex nature of what she was about to do. 2 missing kids at the same time is 1 in a million. So he's now saying that she didn't understand the gravity of the situation, that she doesn't have the foresight to realize that there'll be a huge search and that they'll be all over the media. So he's now saying that Malaya lied to the media, and he lied to the media because he's making excuses for her, basically. She fell in love with Meadow, and Jack and Lily fell to the wayside. I lived it. I took care of Lily and Jack. She only cared for Meadow. So after Lily was born, everything went to shit, basically, due to postpartum depression. So what they were wearing, someone says, okay, that's wild. And then I don't know who's he's responding to here. I can't tell you because it's part of the investigation. So I don't know what he is. He can't tell. It was a normal day for me, but she had different plans. So saying that, Malaya planned it. They don't have on what we think they had on. I'll leave it there. So basically saying that they were wearing different clothes than what they told the cops. I mean, these are all Daniel. These are all certified Daniel. So when this person, Jocelyn, says, what has Daniel lied about? Well, take your pick. He's lied, apparently, about a whole bunch of things. It goes on. She doesn't want them, like Lily and Jack. She doesn't want Lily and Jack, only Meadow. Was Malaya good around your kids? My kids, yes. Great with mine. So the Barbie top that was thought that she was wearing, Lily, is there. I have everything the kids own and all Malaya's belongings as well. Took nothing except 2 of my shirts she stole. 1 dark navy and 1 white. The clothes were, don't know what that means, that morning by whom, and then I don't have the rest. I don't have the rest of that conversation. So we've got Daniel talking to a whole bunch of people on Facebook or in a Facebook group or on Facebook Messenger, talking to a whole random bunch of people. Like there were several people talking to him here. Like you can tell by the, oh, actually that's the same person. So I don't know who he's talking to, but these have been released, certified to be Daniel. of what Darren's been saying in various chats. So he is now following the same story that Darren has told. So them going out and getting lost in the woods, Darren and Daniel are saying something totally different. Now these are from a YouTube chat that happened the other night. They were shared on what was the channel called? Sinatra Speaks. So I screenshotted these from Sinatra Speaks, and Sinatra had got them from a live stream that had been going on the night before. And Daniel was in the chat, so you can tell these are YouTube comments. And Daniel is actually a moderator on this channel, so I don't know what channel it was on, because all these live streams happen overnight my time, so there's no way that I'm going to go through a whole bunch of chat replays trying to find Daniel's comments in every single live stream that may have happened the night or 2 nights before. Why isn't RCMP updating with proper clause details? Who knows? Who knows? Because maybe Daniel is telling YouTube and Facebook a whole bunch of nonsense. He may be doing a Don Wells. I talked about how I believe that Daniel is the younger version of Don Wells. He's Canadian Don Wells. And some people didn't like that analogy that I made yesterday. Now, no, Don Wells is more seedy, he's more sordid, he's more sexual. I mean, look, we don't know Daniel as well as we know Don, so who knows? But the point I was making in yesterday's video wasn't about Don Wells' entire life. It was about something quite specific, and that is the way that Don engaged with social media, particularly in the first year after Summer Wells went missing. And Don was telling different stories to different people in private. And then those stories were making their way onto social media, and Don was enjoying listening to all of the videos that were coming out talking about all these theories. And it was actually Don that was spreading them. And Don was enjoying it. And I get the sense that Daniel could well be doing the same. That he's realized that a whole bunch of people are talking about him, he's enjoying it, so he's starting to spread some stuff that isn't true. Exactly like Don did. Don said, remember, if you watched the Summer Wells stuff, if you were heavy into Summer Wells in the first year, look at what Candice did. Candice and Don rang Mary, Don's stepsister. Candice crying. She was so believable. I believed it. I honestly believed it. She was heartbroken that Don had been arrested, that they were punching him, that she didn't know where they'd taken him, and then she mentioned Boston, and it was like all over YouTube. I believed it. I made a video saying that Don had been arrested, and then I had to backtrack when it all came out that it was a prank. And this is a prank in a missing child's case by the child's mother and father. But that's what Candice and Don Wells did. And then another time, Don told someone that he was having private chats with that, what was it he said? Oh, that Summer had been kidnapped by the Mexican cartel. Summer was in Mexico. That it was the Mexican cartel that took her. And something about owing tons of money. Now, there may be some truth in that. There may well be some truth in that. However, Don Wells spread those stories. And I wonder whether Daniel, or maybe to a lesser extent, is doing the same. That he's putting stuff out that isn't true, that he knows isn't true, just for his own personal amusement, because he knows everybody's talking about him. So it's like, you know, maybe a little bit of vindictiveness. We don't know this guy. We don't know this guy. But this is what he said the other night to people on a YouTube chat. So while the live stream's going on, you know, you guys are chatting. Daniel was in this particular live stream chatting. No drug dogs went through the house and property. RCMP said drug test not a concern, I asked. So this is after Malaya's half-sister, what's her name, Haley, came out, and I did a video about this the other day, about what Haley said, and Haley said that Malaya had admitted that Daniel had been on meth for 2 years, and it was all Daniel, and all the relationship breakdown was all Daniel, and he was a meth addict. Well, that doesn't look good on Malaya, that she's kept her children in a home with a meth addict for 2 years, and had the baby. If Meadow is only 16 months old when Lilly and Jack went missing. So Meadow wasn't even born if it's true that Daniel was on meth for 2 years. But it doesn't look good on Malaya if that's true, and she stayed there for 2 years with a meth addict. Her family thought it was a fun family reunion, no tears. And then this must be a different chat, because he's a moderator there, but in this chat, he's not a moderator. So these must come from 2 different chats. Again, this is from Sinatra Speaks. She couldn't stay around me because she would crack. I would find out. So I'll find out what Malaya did. Now, previously to, I think it was Charmaine that released them, he'd said in Facebook Messenger posts, Facebook Messenger chats, that Malaya couldn't stay because she would crack. So he's now telling everybody on YouTube, on a live stream, she couldn't stay around me because she would crack. I want Meadow, not Malaya. It's not abduction. That's criminal investigation. It's a missing persons case. Yes, she's terrified. Investigators are close. So close to finding out, presumably. Bro, Malaya is on the run from RCMP. What don't you get, bro? So Daniel is telling a load of crap. I mean, is Malaya really on the run from the RCMP? I don't know. It could be. How do we know? The RCMP are not telling us anything. But these are certified Daniel, because in a YouTube chat, all you have to do is click on it and it'll take you to Daniel's YouTube channel. Daniel has a YouTube channel that he's not posted on for years. He did Pokemon stuff. I'll show you. I'll show you. So if you see him in a YouTube chat, it's easy to find out whether it's really him, because all you have to do is go to his actual channel and you can hear him talking. Here he is. So 277 subscribers, 25 videos. Hi, my name is Dan. I opened Pokemon cards as a kid, where I grew up in Nova Scotia, Canada, and now as an adult, I would like to share my passion with you, the YouTube viewer. Great. Fantastic. And let's listen to one here.
And we got the coin. And let's open her up. There's everything there. How am I going to open this?
It's definitely Daniel.
Don't. Rip it open if I can.
There you go. It's definitely Daniel.
Should have probably had some scissors, but I wasn't thinking ahead.
They're worth more closed, apparently. So when he's here chatting, this is definitely Daniel. It's not some like sock account by, you know, some random crank. This is actually Daniel. Bro, Malaya is on the run from RCMP. What don't you get, bro? She's terrified. Investigators are close. She couldn't stay around me because she would crack. So either he was lying then or he's lying now. Is this recent? No, these are 5 years ago. May 29th, 2020. So it was during lockdown. I think a lot of people started YouTube channels during lockdown because there was little else to do. But yeah, these are all 5 years ago. So he's got 25 videos. So this is his full catalogue here. So all 5 years ago. So that was his first one. 580 views. Yeah, the first. Look, there he is. It's actually on camera on this one. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Oh. Well, there. He's on the thumbnail there. Definitely Daniel. So these, definitely Daniel. All right. But then we've had a little bit more from Malaya. And I'm including these right at the end to say that Malaya has not denied. She has not denied Darren's story. Now, these are conversations with Belinda. Again, these were shared by Sunny from It's a Crime and Shame. And Sunny got them directly from Belinda. So, don't know what day they were because it says Thursday and Friday. So, when the screenshot was taken, obviously it was only like days previous. So these are fairly recent. These are recent. And this is Belinda in the blue and Malaya in the grey. Do you believe in your heart that Daniel could have hurt them? I don't know, but he's been acting suspicious and he's too worried about what people think about him and not focus on my kids at all. Everything he's doing is odd, and the police advised him to stay away from the media, to stop contacting me, and he's also tried to steal money from my account through Temu, because my card was attached to his account. So everything is not right. My main focus right now is to protect Meadow and find my kids. So I don't know how she's trying to find her kids. I don't think she's searching. So how is she trying to find her kids? But she now thinks that Daniel is suspicious, that Daniel did something. So we've got Daniel blaming Malaya with Darren's version of events. And now we've got Malaya speculating on, well, don't know, but Daniel's behaving oddly. So she's now blaming Daniel. She's now turning on Daniel. Okay, so this is back to Belinda. Daniel has been saying to YouTubers that he believes you had the kids taken that morning and he woke when you came back to bed. And she says, and she doesn't deny it, but she says, let him that means say whatever he wants. I can't say anything to anyone anymore. Your lawyer can speak on your behalf. Yes. So Daniel is putting all eyes on you. Seems like it, but I'm not following the media. And that's been cut off. Unless it's here. Oh, here we go. I'm not following the media. I've asked people to respectfully not send things to me. And if they feel it's of concern, send it to the police. Good advice. The truth always comes out. And Belinda says, I'm not sure anymore. But, I've not got it. There is a little bit more to this chat. Oh, here we go. Here we go. It's here. Your grandmother's cousin has been thinking the same thing too. He's been on saying the same thing too. He's been on social media. Who are you protecting Meadow from? OMF, I assume she means OMG. I can't even listen to that. I've heard all this. And she's protecting Meadow from the CPS. So she's protecting Meadow from the CPS because they want to take Meadow. Now, some people say that Meadow has now been taken by CPS. I don't know whether that's true, though. Obviously, CPS aren't going to confirm that. I don't know whether Meadow has been taken. I don't know whether Malaya's on the run, like Daniel says she is. But she hasn't denied it. She said, I can't listen to it. She says that he can say whatever he wants, but she hasn't denied it. I mean, the first thing I would say, if somebody said, well, your grandma's cousin's out there speaking, talking about a lot of crap and saying that you had something to do with the kids going missing, wouldn't you just say, well, I'm not listening to it because it's a lot of nonsense? Wouldn't you just say that? So who knows? Who knows? Who knows what's true and what isn't? Because they're all telling different stories. And to, you know, take this full circle and go back to Jocelyn here, what has Daniel lied about? Well, I'll let you draw your own conclusions, because Daniel was either lying in the beginning or he's lying now. By being on YouTube, being in YouTube chats, saying she couldn't stay around me because she would crack. She's terrified investigators are close. And bro, Malaya is on the run from RCMP. So are those messages true? Because these are recent. These were like in the last week on somebody's YouTube channel. These are not more than a few days old. So was he lying in the beginning or is he lying now? They can't both be true. And if Daniel is just blindly believing what Darren and his mother have cooked up, then more fool him, because he's making himself look really foolish. If Daniel lied in the beginning to protect Malaya, and now he's just going along with what Darren has said to YouTube channels, he's making himself look mighty silly. Or he doesn't mind looking silly because he just wants to wind everyone up. And the stuff he's saying isn't true. In which case, he's a lying. So, can't have it all ways, Daniel. All right. All right. That's all I've got to say, really. I've been on here nearly 2 hours. Oh, Belinda's in the chat. Hello, Belinda. I think you're the only sane person in that family. You're the only person that I actually believe. I was told CPS has custody of Meadow and both parents are in court fighting over her. Okay. Oh, dear. Dear, oh, dear, oh, dear. Dear, oh dear. Wow. Well. All right. All right. Hope you're doing well, Belinda, as well as can be expected. What a horrible, horrible, horrible situation. And hopefully the truth will come out. Hopefully RCMP will get to the bottom of it, because Lilly and Jack are somewhere. Are they in the woods? Are they living somewhere completely fine and alive and just hidden? It would be absolutely bizarre if that was the case. It would be best case scenario, obviously. But quite frankly, I can't believe what anybody's saying. I don't believe any of them from either side. So to those people who think that I'm being really harsh on Daniel and letting Malaya off the hook, no, absolutely not. I don't believe either of them. I don't know what the truth is, but I don't believe any of them at this moment in time. All right. Thank you all. I'm going to go now. Thank you all for joining me this fine day. And let me just reiterate here the donations. We got Kimberly early on gifting 5 memberships. We got Cash with the $9.99. We got Courtney, who's been a member for 46 months. That's insane. We got Sarah coming in with a $4.99. We got Cash, who joined. We got Christina, who's been a member for 33 months. I'm seriously going to have to do like a big OG badge, and you get your OG badge after 24 months. I'm definitely going to have to do like a special OG badge for those who've been a member for 3 years and over. And then Christina hopped in with a $9.99. We got Summertime, who hopped in with a $4.99. We got Aussie Trisha with $7.99. Chris with a $1.99, and we got Dulce. Oh, I missed this one. Member for 40 months. Please subscribe. I want to get to 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. And I hit 92,000 yesterday. I think I can do it, but I need your help. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. It's completely free. All you got to do is click the subscribe button. If you watch my videos and you're not subscribed, then it's the least you can do. But thank you all for joining me. Thanks as always to the mods. And let's just pray for Lilly and Jack and hope that they are safe somewhere. And we find the truth out soon, especially, you know, for Belinda and for everybody else in Lilly and Jack's life who are missing them, like there's people at school and so on. Yeah, let's just hope. Oh, hopping in right at the end. Thank you, Marge, with the $13.99 Canadian dollars. Thank you so much. You're so kind. All right, guys, I'm going to go outside and see whether I need to do any gardening and stuff. Like my garden's gone wild, absolutely wild. It's like insane, like the weather. You know, we've had lots of hot weather and then it's rained a little, and yeah, the garden's just gone wild. So I'm going to go out there and see what's happening. All right. Thank you for joining me. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I shall see you very soon. Bye-bye, everyone.